Hello and welcome to the Meditation Conversation. I'm your host, Kara Goodwin, and today it's just me. This is my second solo segment. This is probably going to become an ongoing segment where I just have a shorter segment where I dig into the inspiration of the moment. And I've really enjoyed doing this recently. I think it's a great way to just sort of talk about what's going on in my world and what might be helpful for you. One thing I want to talk about today is some other changes that are coming your way with the meditation conversation. So I met with somebody this week who manages a woman who has a guided meditation podcast. And he got me thinking about the collaboration opportunities that are available with all of these amazing guided meditation podcasts that are out there. And so I have been connecting this week with some really amazing podcast hosts who specialize in guided meditations. And I'm going to be featuring meditations from each of them. We're going to call it Meditation Mondays. And then you will get to have a new guided meditation every week for a while. And it features different guided meditations. And then that can help you understand more about what's out there in the guided meditation space. In case that's helpful for your meditation practice. And then many of them I'll be having as guests in the new year. So I'm really excited about that collaborative opportunity. And then there's another way that the show is expanding, and that's with affiliations and sponsorships. So on my karagoodwin.com website, if you go to the podcast menu item, you can find a section there called sponsors. And I'm starting to fill out there some sponsorships or some affiliations that have specific links. And these are things that I personally use. And some of them are like healthcare things, some are more focused on business and podcasting. But they're really things that I personally can vouch for that have been impactful in my life. And there are special links that take you to, promotions. So you can get some promotional discounts. If you do end up liking the things that you see on there, please do use the links because that lets them know that I sent you. So that's all kind of the new stuff that's coming. And I'm super excited about all that stuff. So the last thing that I wanted to talk about today was it's been a really powerful week. We had a lunar eclipse on Tuesday, Tuesday the 8th of November. And today, as I'm recording it, is 11/11, which is a powerful gateway. It's also Veterans Day and Remembrance Day in the UK. So thank you, veterans. I'm not sure this episode is actually going to be able to be released today, but thank you for your service anyway. But 11/11 is a powerful energetic gateway with all those ones. And then we've got 111122 because it's 2022. So it's just 11/11 tends to be a very potent, energetic time. We also had on Tuesday, in addition to the total lunar eclipse, which we were able to see here in North America, it was Election Day, which is just a pretty charged day in the collective energy. Anyway. So, but this week, I have seen loads of shooting stars, and I'm super excited about this. And I don't know if it's to do with the energy. I don't think really anything is separate. But what's funny is that I don't feel like I see shooting stars that much. So Michael Massey and I hosted a meditation retreat a couple of weeks ago, And one night in particular, we saw so many shooting stars. It was crazy, and one that just went on forever. I mean, it was like this, it went on for like 5 seconds, which is a really long time when you catch, or at least for me, when I catch a shooting star, I'm always expecting it to like, disappear really quickly. And it was like, oh my God, it's still going, it's still going, it's still going. So that was so cool. And then when I was watching the total lunar eclipse, so I woke up about 5 in the morning and went outside, and it was just gorgeous. And I had read that it wasn't going to peak here in Indiana until about 6 a.m. And I got out there just after 5, and it already was like almost totally covered, which really confused me because I was like, well, it looks like we're about to have the peak any minute. And then it just stayed covered for like ever, for like 40 minutes or something. It was really cool, and it was red. And during that time, I saw 3 shooting stars. One of them shot straight down from the moon, like it looked like it went from the moon down to the earth. And then 2 other ones that streaked across the sky, and they're quick enough that it is not like, it wasn't like the one that I talked about on the retreat where it just kept going and going and going. But it was also, lasted, I don't know, a good second and a half or two, where it was like I was definitely sure I had absolutely seen it when they were happening. But it was interesting because I was just watching through I just had this relatively narrow passageway where I was viewing the lunar eclipse between 2 houses. And so the fact that I was able to see them really, because they shot like in that little window of, I mean, I was outside, but it was this window between 2 houses. I was like, wow, if I'm seeing these in such a narrow view of the sky, like what is going on out there? And then my daughter and I, the next night, were driving, and it wasn't that late. It was only like 7, but it gets so dark early now. Um, and we're driving, and I'm like, oh my gosh, there's a shooting star. And she caught the end of it, and she kind of couldn't believe her eyes. She was like, that wasn't a shooting star, Mama. I'm like, well, what was it? You saw it. I'm like, it wasn't a shooting star. I don't know what it was. It must have been a UFO. And she's like, it was a UFO, which is unlike her. But anyway, so I just found that really exciting. And I hope that you're seeing shooting stars. I've heard from other people that they have been seeing them too. And I just find it's so special. I think it's so special to see those things. And the cool thing is that if you're not seeing them, it may just be that you're not outside. So you may want to take some opportunities to go out in the dark night sky. And it doesn't have to be totally dark. I mean, I don't live in the country. There's a lot of light around me, which is another reason I was kind of surprised I was able to see them so easily, because there's a lot of light pollution around here. But feel inspired to go out and spend some time just like observing the sky and connecting. And I think it really helps us to get in touch with that natural rhythm that is within us, that we are a part of, that is native to us, and it's part of our nature. So I definitely encourage you, if you haven't taken the time lately to go out and connect with the sky, to do so. And there might be some surprises out there for you. So anyway, thank you so much for listening today and connecting. And I look forward to the next meditation conversation.